My name is Paul, and on today's episode we're going to talk about the good and bad points of home training versus gym training. Now we'll jump straight in with the home training on the good side of things. What we'll talk about first of all is no travelling time. That's one of my favourite things about home training, the fact that I can say I'm going to start working out at 2 o'clock and at 2 o'clock don't have to prepare anything, I'm straight there working out. The second point is that it's always available. You know, your equipment at home isn't being used by anybody else, it's always going to be there for you to be able to use whenever you want to use it. The third point is that it's always open. A lot of gyms close at 10, 11 o'clock at night, don't open up again until 6, 7 in the morning. If you work shift work, for example, and you want to train outside of those parameters, it's obviously very limiting. There are some gyms I know opening up in London at the moment that are open 24 hours, which I think is great, but one of the benefits is home training is that you can train whenever you want to, it is always open. The fourth point is that you're available for emergencies. You know, when you're at a gym, I'm a member of a gym, I lock my stuff in a locker, lock my phone in a locker, away for maybe an hour and a half at a time. For some of you who may leave your children with babysitters or something like that, if you were to go to the gym, being training at home, you may be able to just train in front of your child. So because you can do that, you're always available for emergencies. There's no hygienic presentation needed. A lot of people don't even take notice of this when they do go to a gym. But when you're at home, you don't need to have a shower or anything like that. You can literally just wake up and start working out if you want to. No one's going to judge you for it, no one's going to be around you, smelling you or anything like that probably. So no hygienic preparation needed is obviously a good benefit from training at home. Now we'll go on to a few of the bad points. First one is limited space and equipment. Obviously you can't have the full contents of a gym at your own home unless you're incredibly lucky to have those facilities in your own home. So you're going to have a smaller space usually and limited equipment in order to train. First of all, there's probably going to be more distractions as well because you're at home and therefore you're available. Your phone could be ringing, somebody at the door, if you've got children there still, there are more distractions to knock you off course. And there's usually more self-motivation needed, in my opinion, to train at home than there is to train at a gym. Usually because at a gym you're there for a specific reason, but at home, again with the distractions, you can be easily caught up doing other things. Now the benefits of gym training. I am a member of a gym, I also train at home, of course. So I'm a big advocate of both really, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. The good things about a gym are that it's easier to focus, in my opinion. As I said down here with the bad point about the home training, is that you are there for a specific reason. You're there to train. There's very few distractions. If you go to some of the more basic gyms, there's not even televisions or anything like that. You just got some music on and you can go. If you bring your own music, that's great. You can knock out distractions even more. Generally, there's more equipment than at your home. So that enables you to vary your exercises, change your working routine, stuff like that. So it gives you more scope to kind of play around with your own targets and goals to reach them in different ways. There's usually a larger space. You know, if you're doing something like kettlebells, for example, you can do that in a gym, and usually there's mats and everything. So there is a larger space to do some of the stuff that you're looking to do. Group motivation. If you're doing classes, spin classes or anything like that, I've got a video on that as well if you want to watch that regarding the spin classes and Zumba and all that kind of stuff. But group motivation, just being in the gym environment with lots of people working out is a great thing for you to feed off as well, to kind of keep your motivation high and your inspiration going. And also there's generally some kind of professional help depending on how good the trainers are there. If you don't really know too much about what you're doing, it is good to get some kind of help, and the trainers there at the gym, usually, I've been a gym instructor at a few gyms in the past, they usually seems like a very, very long day because they're hanging around not doing too much, waiting for somebody to ask them for help. So definitely take advantage of that if you are in a gym, because you can get some good help from some people waiting to help you. Now some of the bad points. A lot of the bad points are going to be very similar to a lot of the home training good points, which are things like the closing times. Gym probably closes at 10, 11 o'clock, probably doesn't open up again until 6, 7 in the morning. Busy equipment. That happens quite often if you go to particular gyms, especially some of the more basic ones because they're generally cheaper. If you're training in the evening, anywhere from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock, especially on a Monday and Tuesday night, the busiest times ever in a gym, you can be waiting behind 3 or 4 people to use one piece of equipment. Thirdly, are prying eyes. A lot of people, especially women in my opinion, in my experience, don't want a lot of people watching them, especially if they're new to working out, so doing that at home gives you that added benefit. Preparation, quite often you need to prepare clothes, maybe a babysitter, transport, all those kind of things if you're looking to go to a gym, so it takes more preparation than just waking up and working out at home. Intimidation. A lot of women don't like going in the weights areas. You know, so you've got a lot of stupid guys throwing the weights around sometimes, shouting at each other. So that's a really intimidating area for women to go into. And even though they need to do the weights, need to use free weights, when you've got a load of guys trying to pick up the heaviest weights they can and throwing them around, it's a really intimidating kind of setting for a lot of females. I know my girlfriend doesn't really like it, and it's no surprise really when you've got guys acting like that in the weights area. And generally it's just more time taken because, as I say, you've got to prepare some of these things like your clothing, babysitter, travelling back and forth. Generally it's going to take you an hour, maybe working out, maybe half an hour either side to prepare your stuff and travel there and back. So basically it comes down to the question of home training or gym training. Now, as I said before, I'm a member of a gym. I've been a member of a dozen gyms in the past. I kind of like the variation, and I've worked in a few different gyms as well, so that's where that comes from. But I obviously do both. But I would suggest vary up. Do both if you want to. I'm a big advocate of both. And to see, sometimes gym training will be best for your goals, sometimes home training will be best for your goals. It all depends what you're heading towards, and then you can find out the best way to get there. But I hope it's giving you some more information on whether home training is right for you or gym training is right for you. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a like. I'd love it if you could subscribe. But if not, I'll see you on the next episode.